All right, you are all are getting ready to do one of my favorite activities as far as getting to see your creativity, and that you're going to create Transversal Town. Transversal Town. So if we take a look for this activity, each student will make his or her own street map for a fictional city. You must name your city, so you need to make sure you decide a name and you name your city. The city will consist of these three things. So for your project, your city must have 3 streets that are parallel to each other and include a street name for each of those streets. Then you must also have 2 transversal streets, 2 streets that intersect all of the 3 from above. Include a street name for each of these. Do not make the transversals parallel to each other. So, what that means for step 1 and step 2, you get either a piece of paper, or you can get a piece of printer paper that's blank, or whatever kind of, if you want to do a poster, you can do a poster do it on poster paper. If you don't want to draw and you would rather do it on a program on your Chromebook or iPad or computer or whatever it is you have, your laptop, that's fine. You can do it that way. All right. As long as you're able to show everything that you need for the project, I don't care what you use to do it on. Be creative. All right. So first thing it said we need 3 streets that are parallel to each other. So the first thing you would do is decide, which way you want your paper. You can have it this way. You could have it going sideways. Remember, you can use any program you want to use. Any of that's fine for the activity. So then the first thing we need 3 streets that are parallel to each other. So then on your paper, or whatever it is that you're going to do your project on, you would draw 3 streets that are parallel to each other. So they could be going horizontal. They could all 3 be horizontal. They could all 3 be vertical on your paper. They could all 3 be going diagonal, as long as they are all 3 parallel to each other. All right, so that would be step 1. Step 1's easy. Draw 3 streets that are parallel, then you name them whatever you want to name them. And then you need 2 transversals. All right, so a transversal means it's going to be another street that's going to cross all 3 of these streets. So it could be diagonal crossing all 3. It could be going vertical crossing all 3, as long as your street crosses all 3 of the other streets. So we have a transversal crossing all of the streets. And then you need a second one, but they can't be parallel. So if this one's vertical, this one cannot be vertical. If this one's going diagonal, the next one can be diagonal, but it can't be parallel to that one. So if I wanted to, I could just draw my second street. It crosses all of the streets, but this one is diagonal instead of vertical. And then it bugs me that it's wider than the other one. So this is the good thing about it. If you do it on paper, you're going to have to erase and move things around. If you do it on any type of app or program, it's going to be a lot easier for you to make it look the way you want. Now, the difference is if you do it on paper, when it comes time to decorate and draw your city, it's a lot easier to color and decorate and do it that way than if you are using a program to try and do it. So that's step 1 and 2. We draw our parallel lines, 3 parallel lines, and then 2 transversals that could go this way. This could have went that way, but it's got to cross all 3 streets. Step 3, the following landmarks must be represented in your city. So in your city, you must have all of these. You will have a pool, a bank, a fire department, a police station, a gas station, a school, a restaurant, a grocery store, a courthouse, a church, a park, a hospital. All of those have to be in there. Now, it'd be way too easy if I just said, okay, now put these in here, and you just got to randomly put a pool right here in this angle, and the hospital in this angle, and the school down in this angle. That'd be way too easy. So instead, I'm going to tell you which ones have to be set up as certain angles. All right, now what that means. If you look, and now we'll go back and look at that same example from earlier, so you can see 3 parallel streets, 2 transversals. And then you can see where they drew in. You have the courthouse, and you got a church, and you've got the park. So you've got different things that they did. So this was an example from a student from an earlier year that did that one. So the point of this activity is not to place these landmarks anywhere. All right, you can't just randomly place them, but to demonstrate your understanding of different angles and their pairs. You can still be creative in doing so, but place the landmarks in the following locations. So this is, I'm going to read through this, but I'm also, when I post the activity, I'm going to post this list right here. So you'll have it. The fire department and the school have to be alternate interior angles. So when you draw your fire department and you draw your school, in order to get your points for this activity, when I look at it, I must be able to look and say, okay, yep, their fire department and their school are alternate interior angles. The city pool and the bank have to be same side interior angles. The church and the police station have to be at alternate exterior angles. The restaurant and the courthouse are vertical angles. The gas station and the grocery store have to be corresponding angles. The park and the hospital have to be supplementary angles. So, like it says, remember, be creative. You can be artistic. You can make the buildings, the roads, landmarks all really creative. Make sure you color them and label them and do all that to decorate it, make it look real good. I'm giving you today, so I'm giving you Friday and I'm giving you Monday to complete this activity. I want it to look really good. So I don't want you to rush through it. So this same activity, this is going to be your activity for Friday and Monday. So you've got Friday, you've got the whole weekend, and you got Monday to work on this. So it's going to be due Monday night. All right, Monday night at midnight. So that means I'll be grading it Tuesday. I'll be looking at them. So they need to be turned in before Tuesday. All right. So here's just a little example. We have transversal. We have 3 parallel lines, 2 transversals, and then you would just either use a little symbol, or you can actually draw a building, however you want to do it. So, like, let's see if we go up here. All right, so church and police station have to be at alternate exterior angles. So if this was what you turned in, I would look at it and I would say, okay, the church and the police station have to be alternate interior. Make sure. Church, police station, yeah, alternate exterior angles. So I would look and say, okay, this looks really good. There's the church, there's the police station. Are they at alternate exterior angles? No, these two would be supplementary angles. So then you would lose points for that one. All right, so you have to make sure they're at the right spot. So let's just go through some of these, just looking. Let's use the fire station, and we'll use, except for we have a bank. Yeah, for the bank. So let's see, what would these be? If I placed them here, what would you call these two? They're inside parallel lines. They're on the same side of the transversal. So these would be same side interior angles. All right, what if I moved it instead, said, okay, what if I wanted the bank here? What kind of angle pair would these be? You have 2 lines crossing, and they're on opposite ends from each other. So those would be vertical angles. If I put them where they're right next to each other across the street, they make a straight line. So these would be supplementary. That would also be supplementary. All right. If I put them, look, they're both inside the parallel lines. Here's your transversal, but one is on one side, the other one is diagonally over here on the other side. There's a line, the transversal is going between them. So these are alternate interior because they're inside of the parallel lines, alternate interior angles. If I moved it and put them like that, They're on different sides of the transversal, but they're outside the parallel line. So these would now be alternate exterior angles. We have, what if they're on the same side of the transversal, but one's outside the parallel lines and one's inside the parallel lines? Those would be corresponding angles. All right, so we've gone through, and the only other one I haven't talked about is, okay, well, what if this one's here and this one's here? Well, then they are on the same side of the transversal, and they're both outside the parallel lines. So that would be same side exterior. All right, so that goes through all the different angles you'll have to know. So when I check, I'm going to look and make sure these things have to be true. So you're going to be graded on, first off, the accuracy of, did you draw 3 parallel lines? Did you draw 2 transversals? You have to make sure they're not parallel to each other. Then you need to make sure you put these things on there and that they're in the right spots. So you get graded for that. And then I'm going to give extra points based off of how creative it is, how's it look, and all that kind of stuff. So make it look really good. Take your time. If you have questions, come to the Google Meets. Like I said, you've got Friday and Monday for this same assignment to make sure it looks really good. You can do it just like this, or you can do it and just go to Google and copy and paste different images and put them in there. And you can use that if you want to do it virtually, or if you want to just get out a piece of paper and draw it on your own and color it and make it look good, and then take a picture of it and submit it. That's fine too. Either way you want to do it. But that's all there is to it. There's no extra questions that you have to answer afterwards. It's just designing your city, and that's it. You're going to design your transversal town. So make sure you name your town, make sure you name your streets, and make sure you put all of your landmarks in the correct locations. Okay, if you have any questions, email me, come to the Google Meets, let me know. I'm excited to see what you all come up with. The in-person class is doing the same activity, so we'll be able to check and see how theirs looks, how yours looks. Hopefully we have a lot of really good ones. All right, so other than that, let me know if you need any help.